This is really a follow-up of that. Just to recap, this is the workshop we had, and this is a brief summary which has been produced. On the right hand side you can see some pictures, and some of the people are here today. This was a two-day event to explore various aspects of asset integrity in the energy industries, where people from oil and gas, nuclear, thermal power, etc. they participated. And then there was I have attended many workshops and events, and I have attended or organized also many workshops. But that event was very unique. On the second day at something like 6 o'clock, people were still debating and discussing how to take care. This was very unique that day. And when we were organizing that event, seminar in June, we had said it should not end with that event, and we should discuss what should be done in the future. And this is again a part of this report. Clearly, two things were identified. The first 2 points, if you see, the corrosion is a key challenge for the energy industry. There is an insufficient R&D focus on corrosion in India. And then the second point on the right side, you can see India needs several R&D centers to come up to tackle the massive costs imposed by corrosion. And then I'll just come to the last point: next generation equipment, plants and services to be created in India through PPP mode with involvement of academia and industries. So these were some of the key outcomes of that symposium we had in June. And what you are seeing today is a follow-up of that. And so we had a wonderful 2-day event in June. We didn't stop there, and we said, okay, it has to be taken further, and today we are meeting. And I'm extremely delighted to see the quality of people participating here. There are a lot of experts. Maybe I can see here easily something like 500, 1000 years of experience in corrosion area itself in this hall. So if there is anything which is highly experienced knowledge base on corrosion, it's in this hall today, in this event today. So the workshop is set, and we have a wonderful agenda with lot of highly knowledgeable speakers. Not just speakers, even from the people who are participants, who are not speakers, I see a lot of experience. People from many industries have come, from power plants, from oil and gas, from equipment, L&T, people like L&T, lot of people have come who bring lot of experience. So I am very sure that the deliberations here will also be very dynamic and very enriching to all of us. It's not just the speakers. So quickly, I don't know if this is visible. This is the various aspects of asset integrity. If we are talking of asset integrity, we have multiple issues. Right from the regulatory compliance mechanisms, quality, HSE, repair and rehabilitation. So there are so many issues, and if we just short list few of them, very, very important, this is what it looks like. We have asset integrity, the fitness for service, HSE, then key is corrosion, and then it has to be inspected. Then there is an issue of maintenance, risk assessment, risk mitigation, all those things. So today we are talking of corrosion. Corrosion is the central theme, and corrosion is one of the main factors. This is what came out in the June symposium. Corrosion is one of the key factors that cause the failure or the loss of productivity in the assets. So this is one of the key problems. So we will put corrosion at the center, and then we have 3-4 important issues. The first is detection and monitoring. It can be by various means. It could be by several techniques of NDT, using IIoT or various sensors, robotics, drones, etc. The top one is not really inspection, it is prediction. Prediction can be based on the data-based models, experience-based models, or physics-based models, or even by R&D or testing. as Professor Sinha pointed out, it cannot be stopped. The corrosion cannot be stopped. It can be mitigated. Even Vikram made that point. Corrosion cannot be stopped. There is nothing like we can halt corrosion. It can only mitigate. We can only delay the process, and we can take care of that in the design or in our practice, so that it will not cause unexpected damage. So how to mitigate the risk is one of the key things that can be addressed. But then how do we predict the onset of corrosion, or how do we predict the rate of growth of corrosion? These are the key issues. Then there is the issue of integrity, which is of core to the asset owners or asset operators. It could be in the form of fitness for service or fitness for purpose, as they call it, and failure, and lifing, that is remaining life assessment, and life extension or engineering criticality assessment, RBI, etc., etc. These are the issues associated with integrity. Then key issue is how do we prevent, or how do we mitigate the effects of corrosion? There are various techniques, right from surface modification, paintings, coatings, cathodic protection, etc. I am sure there are people here who will be speaking and also who have knowledge of this. So there are various aspects of this. The reason I am explaining all this is each of the topic itself is so wide and vast, all the details cannot be covered in a 2-day workshop. This is a very, very highly complex. Corrosion is one of the most complex phenomena in engineering, as I have seen. I am not again a corrosion person, as Professor Sinha was confessing, but the complexity of this amazes me. The interdisciplinary nature of this, the complexity of this just amazes me. So everything cannot be covered, but you will just get some glimpse and you will get some ways to look forward. And in the practice, in the real practice in the industry, this is a very, very very, very tricky phenomenon. This is a hot riser, which has a hot spot. This is in a FCC unit in a refinery. Just I am showing some example how, just I will give 1 or 2 example of how the maintenance and corrosion issues and the risk in asset integrity issues are interlinked. So this is a issue, this is a hot spot that was observed in a refinery, and these guys for 1 year they kept on just dosing water. Water dosing is a good technique, that's okay. But then for 1 year they have waited. If there was some accident, this would have costed at least 20-30 lives in that refinery. And then they come to us and they ask, sir, this is a problem, we are seeing this hotspot, what do we do? And then they take so much time. There is the problem in the industry, as I have seen with my limited experience, is there is a lot of issue of coordination. There is a lot of issue of hygiene, basic hygiene of how things have to be maintained, how things have to be addressed. So then we had to do some serious analysis and get the solutions. This is again a pipeline. This is a hot reheat system pipe. You can see this welded joints. You can see some crack happening. And we all know, you ask any metallurgist or even people in the plant or quality people, they know if there is a higher temperature operating, and especially if there is a weld, there is a propensity for stress corrosion cracking. This theoretically everybody will know. But then nobody will realize if there is a hanger, for example, or a support which is failed, it will cause enormously different or higher bending stresses, and then that can in fact accelerate this SCC or stress corrosion cracking. This is what is happening. So I'm not showing all these case studies, just I am giving you the linkage between what happens due to what causes the failure. It may not be just the material issue, it may be a practice of maintenance or inspection. So everything is going together in this issue of asset integrity, but corrosion is the most dominant factor that affects the asset integrity. So because of that, the solutions to corrosion problems are not very simple and straightforward. This is reality. There is an interplay of multiple issues, multiple factors. From design, fabrication, materials, processing, surface treatment, operations, maintenance, inspection practice, so many things. Everything is included. So this is the complexity. So if somebody is here expecting a solution for their problem, please be reassured that might not happen, because miracles cannot happen in a workshop. So just I want to set the context right. So miracles don't happen in the workshop. It will happen only in your shop floor or in your plant with so many things to be incorporated. So this is about the workshop. During the workshop, as people have told already, please participate dynamically. I am sure you will have experience, interact with the speakers, share your knowledge also, and then participate very actively. Network with your colleagues and professionals. And if you have any issues, please contact with the volunteers if there is any gap or if you need some assistance. And be accommodative if there is some lacunae. Many of them are volunteers, they are working, so be accommodative. For the speakers, I have a small request. Please stick to the time allotted. Give more time for discussion. So the idea is to have more interactive sessions. So for which we have kept today, the last session, more than 1 hour we have kept for the discussions today. So there should be more of interaction and discussion. And if you have a presentation that can be shared, please share with Alvar or Pranay who are here. And then that will be, people will ask, the participants will ask for the copy of presentation. So please share the copy of presentation with us, which in turn can be shared with all the participants. So one of the key issue here is in this workshop is, again, like what we did in the earlier time, we have a way forward session tomorrow afternoon. And in that session, I want all of you to think how to take this workshop further. One of the key idea is, how do we create collaborative platforms, collaborative networks, and collaborative projects? These are really interdisciplinary projects. So how do we develop that so that the community will benefit? So one of the things that came out in the June symposium is, once upon a time when I was a student in the Stone Age, in the Indian Institute of Science, there were at least 2-3 groups doing research in corrosion. And now I see even in the IISc, the corrosion research has literally stopped. So there is a real stoppage of corrosion research from Sekri, which was known as the something like Ayodhya or Kashi of corrosion. There are hardly few people doing research in corrosion now. They are all working on battery or fuel cells, etc. There are very few groups working on corrosion related research. Professor Rajavi, I hope he will speak more about this. But then there is a very strong need in the country. As a community, as a country, we need the higher focus on corrosion. This is a very, very big requirement. We have very senior people from DRDO. Here, people from the oil and gas industry or power plants or other industries. I am sure they will, everybody will should take